One trend in the gaming industry that's received mixed reception is the practice of selling multiple editions of a game. On one hand, some games actually handle it quite well by releasing 1 or 2 extra editions that offer some neat collectibles and merchandise at a reasonable price for the most hardcore fans. On the other hand, there are those releases that lock content behind the game's various editions, such as exclusive missions and items, and sell a confusing variety of packages at ludicrous prices, some of which might not even include the game. So in my experience, whether I'm satisfied with how multiple editions of the game is handled depends and varies on a publisher by publisher or game by game basis. Now, among the most exciting games coming in 2019 is Devil May Cry 5. I've been a huge fan of these games since the first game came out, so it is just absolutely delightful to see that a proper sequel, none of this DMC crap, is being made, and from what little I've seen, it looks fantastic. Unsurprisingly, with this being a AAA release, the game will indeed ship with additional editions. The 2 that most people will be eyeing are the $60 Standard Edition, which comes with a base game alongside alternate costumes for the game's main characters if you pre-order, and the $70 Deluxe Edition, which comes with 100,000 red orbs for you to spend on upgrades or on-the-spot revives, as well as some alternate skins for Nero's mechanical arm and Dante's motorcycle weapon, alternate battle tracks from previous games in the franchise, alternate announcer voices for the title screen and for combat style rank, and the inclusion of live action cutscenes that can be toggled over the in-game cutscenes. There are definitely far worse ways other companies have handled game editions, but I cannot deny that I would have preferred extras like an art book or some unique merchandise rather than the exclusion of some neat alternate costumes and skins from the base game. At the very least, the increase in price from standard to deluxe isn't exorbitant at an additional $10, but still. Now, where things get ridiculous is in Devil May Cry 5's Ultra Limited Edition, the cost of which goes well into the thousands of dollars. There are 3 versions of the Ultra Limited Edition you can get. One includes the game alongside a high-quality replica of Nero's jacket for 750,000 yen, which translates to a little over $7,000. Another includes the game alongside a replica of the new character V's jacket for a cheaper 600,000 yen, which is roughly $5,700. Finally, the creme de la creme is the version that includes the game alongside a replica of Dante's jacket for a whopping 900,000 yen, which is about $8,600. This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen. Devil May Cry 5's Ultimate Edition costs about as much as a used car in decent condition. I can tell you for a fact right now that none of these jackets cost anywhere near that amount of money. Unless this stuff is made from alligator skin or some shit, I can see Dante's leather jacket being worth $1,000 at most, with the other 2 costing far below that. If they were going to charge thousands of dollars for this edition, the least they could have done is include all 3 jackets in one package at a price point that doesn't insult people's intelligence. Oh, and want to know what the cherry on top is? Unless I'm misinterpreting this, based on what I'm seeing on the website, the Ultra Limited Edition doesn't even come with a deluxe version of the game, it's just the standard version. For a product whose price point ranges between $5,700 and $8,600, you would think the least they could do is include the most complete version of the game. Now, even at such a high cost, I guarantee you that there will be a decent amount of hardcore and or very rich fans who will go out of their way to purchase the Ultra Limited Edition. Hell, I'd imagine that there will be a select few whales who will go out of their way to purchase all 3 jackets to add these items to their collection. Capcom knows this too, that they can get away with ripping off a few select people by marking up prices tenfold compared to the amount these products should actually be sold at. Then again, one factor to consider is that these jackets are being made to order in very limited quantities rather than being mass-produced to be sold wholesale, which does jack up prices. But still, prices shouldn't be to the extent that we're talking about almost $9,000 unless the materials really are that premium, which I highly doubt. It's a shame because the jackets do look legit as hell, and I'm sure there would be plenty of people willing to shell out cash for this fashion wear if the price point wasn't so ludicrous. They are these beautiful, desirable pieces Capcom is dangling in front of fans that only a very few select can actually afford or are willing to pay for. The one edition that actually includes some kind of merchandise worthy of a special edition package is one that's out of reach for most. Everyone else instead gets a deluxe edition that primarily takes out some neat cosmetic content that is being paywalled and labeled as so-called extra content. It is worth noting, however, that the Ultimate Limited Edition is only being sold in Japan, though one could just opt to import their order at a hefty shipping cost. But I mean, if you can afford to spend that much money on a freaking jacket, I'm sure you'll have no problem paying an importation fee. In the end, I suppose none of this will ultimately affect the quality and enjoyment of the game, which to me is what is most important. However, if Capcom's going to go the extra mile with merchandise for the hardcore fans, then they should be reasonably accessible rather than be reserved for the elite. Metal Gear Solid 5, for example, sold a replica of Big Boss's leather jacket from Phantom Pain for $500, which, while still fairly costly, was reasonable enough and right in line with the cost one might expect from a good quality leather jacket, with the added appeal of being the jacket used by one of the most iconic characters in gaming. Not sure why Capcom couldn't have done something similar by teaming up with a clothing company and producing a limited run of these jackets in larger and more fairly priced quantities. This is where we're at though, so if you're resolute on obtaining one or more of these jackets at these marked up prices because Capcom is giving you no other choice, well, prepare yourself because your wallet may cry. Or if you don't have that kind of money just sitting around but need to channel your inner Dante, there are other outlets out there who are selling different renditions and replicas of Dante's jacket at a fraction of Capcom's cost, which further goes to highlight just how woefully overpriced the Wallet May Cry edition of Devil May Cry 5 is. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy my content and would like to support this channel directly, consider donating on Patreon. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.